Weak bloodline. That's the only explanation for a score like this.
The test paper read 68%. For Tomomi, that was proof of something worse. She had been lecturing him for 30 minutes. He hadn't said a word in his defense.
Your son lacks the capacity for our curriculum. I recommend a less ambitious school.
Yamato's fingers dug into his father's sleeve. He was trembling, not from anger, but shame.
If you object, try other schools. With scores like these, I doubt any will take him.
But Kosuke knew something Tomomi didn't. Something that would turn this entire conversation on its head. The meeting ended in silence. As they walked through the trophy halls, the weight of every achievement pressed down.
Dad, I am sorry. I really did try my best.
Kosuke placed a hand on his son's shoulder. He still said nothing. The right words would come, but not yet. The walk home was heavy with things unsaid. Streetlights flickered on one by one, as if the city itself was holding its breath.
She's right, isn't she? I am just not smart enough. I don't belong there.
Number, you belong wherever you want to be. That woman doesn't decide your worth.
Inside their small apartment, the silence returned. Yamato retreated to his room. Kosuke stood alone in the living room, the weight of the day pressing down. His eyes fell on a framed photo of his late wife. She had always believed in him, even when he ghost rode in secret.
I've kept quiet for so long, but today, she used my own work to tear him down.
He reached for a thick textbook on the shelf, the same one Kaisei required, the one Tomomi had been quoting. He flipped the acknowledgements page. There, highlighted in faded yellow, ghost written by Kosuke.
This book, every chapter, every exercise, I wrote it all. And she used it to humiliate my son.
He closed the book gently. The room was still, but something had shifted. The quiet father now carried a secret weapon. The next morning, Kosuke stood outside Bunkensha Publishing, his scuffed shoes on the polished granite floor.
I know I signed a confidentiality agreement, but this isn't about money. This is about my son.
The publisher listened in silence. Then, after a long pause, he nodded and pulled out a formal letterhead. He wrote a certified statement of authorship, then slid it across the desk. The letter read, "This certifies that Kosuke is the sole ghostwriter of the textbook currently used by Kaisei Cram School." That same afternoon, a formal envelope from Kaisei Cram School arrived at his apartment. It formally recommended Yamato's transfer, citing unsuitable academic environment for a student of his caliber.
They're trying to force us out before I can even speak. But now I have what I need.
He laid the two letters side by side. One was a weapon. The other was a declaration of war. The quiet father wasn't just armed. He was ready. He returned to Kaisei Cram School the next morning, the certified letter in his hand.
I see you are back. Have you finally come to sign the transfer papers?
I am not signing anything. I am here to show you something you seem to have forgotten.
He opened the textbook to the credits page and placed the publisher's certification beside it.
Forgery. A cheap forgery. Do you think you can waltz in here and slander this institution?
The principal leaned back. Without looking at the papers, he spoke in a rehearsed, patient tone. "Mr. Kosuke, accept the transfer quietly. Dragging this out will only hurt your son."
Hurt my son? You've already done that. All he did was try his best, and you crushed him.
Tomomi snatched the textbook off the desk. Her face twisted as she read the yellow highlighted line. But Kosuke had already turned away. This wasn't a battle for a school. It was for his son's worth. The transfer recommendation leaked. By the next afternoon, Yamato's classmates had turned on him. Whispers followed him in the hallways.
They called me weak bloodline, too. It's not just her. Everyone thinks it now.
Kosuke knelt beside his son. He had no words to fix this, only a silent promise.
I won't let them do this to you. Not anymore.
That evening, he visited an independent education consultant. The man had seen every dark corner of the cram school industry. The consultant was blunt. Kaisei's entire curriculum depends on that one textbook,
So she used my own work as a weapon against my son.
and Tomomi, he learned, had built her entire reputation on it. Meanwhile, at Kaisei, Tomomi gathered her junior tutors. Her voice dripped with contempt.
That man has been spreading lies about our school. He's trying to ruin us. Don't believe a word he says.
That night, Kosuke sat at his desk. The words came faster than they had in years.
Dad, are you writing about what happened?
Yes, not for revenge, so that other kids don't have to go through what you did.
He crafted a piece that exposed the snobbery without naming names. The headline read, "The Cram School Snobbery Problem." The next morning, he returned to Bunkensha Publishing. The editor read the draft with something like admiration. The publisher leaned forward. "This is powerful. I can get this published online by tomorrow." By evening, the article was submitted. All that remained was for the world to read it. Meanwhile, at Kaisei, Tomomi called an emergency board meeting. The school's reputation was at stake, she argued. By the next morning, the board had issued an ultimatum: transfer in 7 days or face expulsion. The letter arrived that afternoon. The school had declared war. The next morning, while the ultimatum sat on his desk, Kosuke's phone flashed with a single notification: article live. On social media, the op-ed spread faster than wildfire. Shares, comments, and retweets flooded in. At Kaisei, Tomomi's smug satisfaction evaporated the moment her phone erupted with angry alerts.
Why is everyone tagging the school? What article is this?
She tapped the link. There it was, the headline, the details, the quiet father's story laid bare.
He published it. That ghostwriter is trying to destroy me, us. He's nothing but a fraud.
Angry parents who recognized their own experiences began calling the school, demanding answers. By afternoon, sponsor representatives were requesting urgent meetings. The school's reputation had been cracked.
If the sponsors dig deeper and find out the truth about the textbook, my entire career ends here.
The war, she thought she'd already won, was only just beginning. Within hours, the school board convened an emergency session. The atmosphere was thick with panic.
This article is slander. You can't expect me to apologize for exposing incompetence.
The principal's voice was cold. Tomomi, if the sponsors see that textbook credit, we're finished.
Then we silence him. We threaten a lawsuit. He'll back down. They always do.
That evening, Kosuke's phone rang. It was the school, suggesting a misunderstanding meeting.
I won't meet privately. Everything I have to say will be said in public from now on.
He hung up. Across the city, the 3 largest sponsors put all funding reviews on hold.
He's really going to make me pay. But it was just one meeting, one mistake.
The board was sharply divided. Some wanted to negotiate. Others stubbornly sided with Tomomi, but the deadline was set. Either Kosuke backed down, or the whole system would be exposed. The next morning, Kosuke and Yamato walked through Kaisei's trophy-lined halls one last time. No hesitation, only resolve. At the administration desk, Kosuke slid the withdrawal form across the counter. No explanation, no argument.
Running away already? Your son will never succeed without this institution. You are destroying his future.
A school that judges a child on bloodline isn't building futures. It's destroying them. We're done here.
You'll regret this. When your son fails, don't come crawling back.
Kosuke placed a hand on Yamato's shoulder and walked out without looking back.
Dad, I'm scared, but I am glad we don't have to see her again.
Don't be. We'll find a better place. One that sees you for who you are.
But inside the school, Tomomi's hands trembled, not with fear, but with the cold fury of wounded pride. This wasn't over. She would make sure of that. 2 days after the withdrawal, a producer from a national morning show called. They wanted the ghostwriter on live television. Kosuke agreed immediately. If one op-ed could shake the system, a television interview could tear it apart altogether. That morning, under the studio lights, He sat straight and calm, and spoke directly to millions of viewers. He laid out the entire humiliation, the textbook he wrote, the tutor who used it to crush his son, the school that looked away. Within an hour, the interview clips were everywhere. Social media platforms erupted with renewed and furious outrage. At Kaisei, the board could no longer contain the anger. Parents packed the halls, demanding immediate accountability and answers. 3 major sponsors announced their immediate withdrawal. One by one, their nameplates came down from the hallway plaque. Tomomi was suspended pending investigation. She stormed out of a hastily arranged press conference, her career spinning into freefall.
2 ghostwriting contracts terminated overnight, all because I refused to stay quiet.
The price was steep, but for the first time in a decade, Kosuke felt his name meant something. With Yamato out of school and his own contracts gone, Kosuke spent days researching alternatives. Sakuraga Oka Academy kept appearing, smaller, highly rated, known for its supportive environment. The campus was bright and welcoming, with cherry blossoms blooming along the old stone path. A cheerful sign read, Sakuraga Oka Academy.
Welcome. You must be Yamato's father. I am Nozomi, the English tutor here. Wait, Kosuke? The Kosuke? The one who wrote the textbook. Your book is the reason I became a teacher.
You know it? I only wrote it as a ghostwriter. My name was never on the cover.
I have a copy I've used for years. The exercises are brilliant. They actually make students think, not just memorize. Yamato, if you are even half as thoughtful as your father's writing, you'll thrive here. I'd be honored to tutor you.
You really think I can, after everything, at my old school?
Absolutely. Talent isn't born, it's grown. And you've already got the best fertilizer. A father who believes in you.
Kosuke watched his son's shoulders relax for the first time in weeks. Maybe this place could be different. The next day, Nozomi's first tutoring session began. She didn't lecture. She asked what Yamato found difficult and listened carefully.
You are not starting from zero. You've got a good foundation. We'll build on it together.
But my old teacher said my bloodline was weak, that I couldn't learn.
Bloodlines are nonsense. What matters is effort and belief, and you have both.
Kosuke watched through the window. Nozomi's voice was patient, her smile genuine. This was what teaching should be. Meanwhile, at Kaisei, the investigation concluded. Another parent had come forward with a similar story of bullying. The next morning, tabloid photographers captured Tomomi leaving the school buildings for the last time, her expression hollow. Her career as an elite tutor was over. She had built it on shame, and now shame had claimed her.
I actually understood that. It felt good.
For the first time, Yamato spoke about learning not as a burden, but as something he might enjoy. Kosuke allowed himself a cautious hope. That evening, Kosuke turned onto his street. A figure with disheveled burgundy hair blocked his path.
You ruined my life. I'll sue you for every yen you have.
You ruined yourself. I only showed the world what was already there.
You'll never write a book again. I'll make sure of it.
Goodbye, Tomomi. I don't have time for your bitterness. I have a son to raise.
A neighbor's recording of the exchange went viral overnight. The silent father's dignity captivated millions. Tomomi fled, her threats hollow. Online, the court of public opinion had already ruled against her.
She still doesn't understand. It was never about winning. It was about dignity.
The confrontation, paired with his op-ed, forced a government review of cram school practices. For a moment, Kosuke felt heard, but the silence of his empty bank account weighed heavier than any applause. His son's future still hung in the balance. One evening, Yamato burst through the door, waving a crumpled paper. A bright red glared from the top corner.
Dad, I got my first A in English. Nozomi sensei's explanations actually make sense.
Kosuke found Nozomi after class, still tidying her desk. For the first time, he spoke more than pleasantries.
Yamato hasn't smiled like that in months. Let me buy you coffee. It's the least I can do.
They walked to a quiet cafe. The evening deepened, and the conversation slipped past small talk.
He just needed someone to believe in him. Your textbook taught me that education is about empowerment, not rankings.
She understands more than anyone I've met, but I can't, not now. Not when I can barely provide for my son.
They talked until the cafe closed. About teaching, about loss, about the quiet strength it takes to rebuild a life. Walking home alone, Kosuke stopped in his dim living room. His late wife's photo on the shelf pulled his eyes.
I can't replace her, and I can't risk Nozomi on a man with empty pockets.
The final ghostwriting termination arrived on a Thursday. With it, the last of Kosuke's income vanished.
Sell the apartment? That would mean uprooting Yamato again.
That evening, Nozomi appeared at his door without warning. She saw the bills. She saw the fear.
I know a publisher, one who values teachers and writers. I told her about you. She's read your op-ed. She wants you to write an honest textbook, one that puts students first, under your own name.
She slid a contract across the table. The advance wasn't huge, but it was a beginning.
A book under my own name, for students who actually need it. This isn't ghostwriting. This is purpose. I'll do it. I'll write the book. Thank you, Nozomi.
He signed the contract that night, his name for the first time on the author line. The ghostwriter was no longer hidden, and the woman who believed in him had helped him believe in himself. Months passed. Kosuke's laptop filled with chapters, and quiet evenings with Nozomi became their new rhythm.
This section on practical grammar is brilliant. Students will actually remember these rules.
I ranked first in the class. Nozomi-sensei's training really paid off.
Royalties arrived, slim but steady. For the first time in years, Kosuke felt financially secure.
Nozomi, would you have dinner with me tonight? Not as a thank you, as something different.
I'd like that. I was starting to wonder if you'd ever ask.
They met at a quiet restaurant. Kosuke had exchanged his worn cardigan for a navy blazer.
You've changed everything. Not just for Yamato. For me, I want to be with you, for real.
I've been waiting to hear that. Yes, Kosuke, I want that too.
That night, Kosuke's desk wasn't covered in papers. It held their intertwined fingers, finally unafraid. 2 years later, the book Transparent Education was a bestseller. Kosuke had become a respected voice in education reform. In his pocket, a small velvet box weighed heavier than any secret he had ever carried.
Nozomi, you gave me back my voice. Will you spend the rest of your life with me?
Yes, 1,000 times, yes. I've been hoping you would ask.
From behind a cherry tree, Yamato's phone captured every second. He had been hiding for 20 minutes.
I got it all on video. Dad, you were so nervous. You actually pulled it off.
Kosuke laughed, a sound he hadn't made in years. The ring slipped onto her finger perfectly. The ghostwriter, once hidden, now held the hand of the woman who believed in him.
I've wanted this for so long, ever since I read your first textbook all those years ago.
And so, the quiet father finally wrote his own happy chapter, with the people he loved most. The wedding was small and bright. Only the people who mattered filled the simple chairs. Kosuke adjusted his cuff. On his wrist, his father's old watch ticked steadily. As best man, Yamato stood beside him. The boy who once hung his head now stood taller than his father.
Dad, I've been writing and rewriting this. There's so much I want to say. You fought for me when I couldn't. You showed me worth isn't in a score or a bloodline. You are the strongest person I know, and I am so proud you are my father.
Not a single eye stayed dry. Even Kosuke's quiet composure cracked. At the altar, they exchanged rings. Then, with his father's watch catching the light, Kosuke kissed his bride. The ghostwriter, who once lived in shadows of other people's names, had finally written himself into the light. That kiss sealed more than a marriage. It sealed a future they had never dared to imagine. At the reception, soft golden light bathed the hall. The newlyweds were surrounded by quiet joy. On the mantel, a small framed photo of Kosuke's late wife watched over the celebration, her gentle smile unchanged. Beside it lay Nozomi's old, dog-eared copy of the ghostwritten textbook, the one that had started everything.
Thank you for giving me the strength to raise him and to love again.
Nozomi took his hand, and they moved into their first slow dance as husband and wife. His father's watch glinted softly under the chandelier, the past and present finally at peace.
I've loved your book for years, but I love the man who wrote it even more.
Kosuke pulled her closer, a rare, unguarded laugh escaping his lips. This was happiness he never dared expect. Across the room, Yamato watched them, his phone forgotten. His phone forgotten. His smile said everything. The ghostwriter had finally learned. The best stories aren't the ones you hide, they're the ones you live out loud. A few weeks after the wedding, a thick envelope with a golden university seal arrived in the mailbox.
I got in. Dad, Nozomi Mama, I got into the top program.
We always knew you could do it. You've worked so hard, Yamato.
After all the pain, he made it. She didn't break him. We didn't let her.
Meanwhile, in a cold convenience store across the city, Tomomi mopped the floor. Her burgundy hair was now streaked with gray. Her name tag read, "Part-time Tomomi." She never looked up as a laughing family passed the window. The family, Kosuke, Nozomi, and Yamato, didn't notice her. They had their own world now, full of laughter and cherry blossoms.
I'll make you proud at university. I promise I won't waste this chance.
You already have. Every single day, you make us proud.
The ghostwriter, who once hid his words, had built a life where every chapter was worth reading out loud. A year later, Kosuke's second book was published. The dedication was simple. For Nozomi and Yamato, my everything, they had moved into a cozy home where cherry blossoms drifted past the windows each spring. On the shelf, the old ghost-written textbook now sat beside his new books and a wedding photo.
I once wrote without a name. Now I write for the people who gave me mine.
Dad, your new book is already helping me in university. You are inspiring so many students.
I just write what I believe. You and Nozomi are the real inspiration.
Later, Kosuke sat at the same desk where he had once signed ghostwriting contracts in secret. Now it held letters from grateful readers and notes from Yamato about his university lectures. He looked at the shelf, the old textbook, the new one, and the family portrait. All his quiet work had finally found a home. The ghostwriter always had a voice. He just needed someone to believe in him. Far across the city, a solitary figure with gray-streaked burgundy hair walked through a cold street. The world had moved on, but in a warm home, on a shelf, an old textbook sat among framed memories. It was no longer a secret or a weapon. It was proof of how far they had come. From the window, you could see a family laughing in the garden. Kosuke, Nozomi, and Yamato. A decade ago, he wrote a book without his name. Today, his name is written in the lives of those he loves. The ghostwriter's story was never about revenge. It was about a father who refused to let his son be defined by a score. And in the end, he proved that the truest measure of worth is the love you build around you. The ghostwriter always had a voice. He just needed someone to believe in him. Fade to black.